dance for joy or lust or anger.
Welcome to Sensible Secondhand Reviews, the series where we look at cars that are practical and sensible, which you can buy for a budget of between £1,000 and £5,000. This is a 2019 Suzuki Baleno 1.2 SZ3. But is it any good? Should you care? Let's find out, shall we? So this generation of Baleno, also known as the Toyota Glanzo in India and the Toyota Starlet in South Africa, was launched in this country in 2016. We have had one of these on the channel before, back in 2021, which was a 1 litre automatic SZ5 version. This is a very different animal indeed. This is the base model SZ3. It wasn't a very popular car over here at all, actually. You can still buy one of these in a lot of other markets around the world, and there was a major facelift of this in 2022. But over here it was only sold until 2019, which makes it not the shortest duration Suzuki that was ever sold in this country. That honour goes to the Kizashi, and if you do have a Suzuki Kizashi that you'd like to have featured on the channel, then please do get in touch, Lloyd Vehicle Consulting at hotmail.com. But certainly not one of their best-selling models. It shares a platform with the Suzuki Ignis and the Suzuki Swift, the current generation of both of those. We have had both a current generation Swift and an Ignis on the channel, and they're both excellent cars. This is too, although maybe you've never seen one or never heard of it. The basic engine in this car, which is in this SZ3 model, and this was the only engine available in this trim, is an 88 brake horsepower 1.2 litre engine. It's very reliable, actually. I've not heard of any problems with this. In the SZ5, which is the top of the range, you can get this with a mild hybrid version of this engine. With the SZ3, which is the mid-range model, there is another option as well, which is a 3-cylinder known as the Dualjet with 108 horsepower. In that car it's only available with a manual, and in the SZ5 it was available with a manual and an automatic. In fact, the previous Baleno that I drove was a 1 litre auto. It feels very light. It is a very light car. I think some of the models of this Baleno actually weigh less than 1,000 kilograms, which for a modern car is absolutely ridiculous. It feels very light in its feet. All the controls are very light. The clutch, the gearbox, the brakes. It's very, very easy to drive. It feels quite composed actually, which is good. It's not a Ford Fiesta Mark 7 or Mark 8, which you know, this was priced against, but it is bigger than both of those, so it's sort of worth considering if you would like a car that's the price of a Fiesta, but with the interior space that was more akin to a Ford Focus. One thing that this Suzuki Baleno doesn't look like particularly is a base model. Now you can see just down at the bottom of the front bumper we've got some blanking plates where the fog lights would be, and the daytime running lights look a little bit aftermarket for some reason, but overall yes, it doesn't actually look that bad. Obviously compared with the very, very nice 1 litre example I drove back in 2021, it doesn't actually look that much worse off in many ways. We've only got wheel trims and things like that, and phones that vibrate when you don't want them to, and all sorts of things. There should be a reversing camera in here, but it's just a little sort of bung because this is only the SZ3. but most of you, I think, you'd be looking at this sort of car, might not mind that so much. One real advantage of one of these over something like a Ford Fiesta is the fact that if you lift this up, you can see that we've got various dealership paraphernalia in here, but we've actually got a false floor. And if you remove this, and you have the tyre repair kit as opposed to this car that's got a spare wheel, you can get up to 355 litres of space. This car with the spare wheel has 320 litres of space, but that's still really, really big. 355 is almost the same. It's about 25 litres different from a Mark 7.5 Golf, which would have been sold about the same time that this would have been. So a very, very spacious car. Just the lip is vast, absolutely enormous. It's not so bad if you've got the false floor up, but if you have it down or you remove it, then that is going to be a bit of a problem. Boot light is not an LED. There are some nice hooks in there. That's good. There's one. Why is there only one? But yeah, you know, this is one of the main advantages of one of these, particularly over the Swift, which shares the same platform as this car. It's known as the Heart ECT, which is strange. I've always thought of it as Heart Tech or something. I don't know why they called it that. It's very strange. So if we get into the back, this is my driving position. We've got a plane going over the top as well. Gosh, it's all fun today, isn't it? So much more room than it would be in something like a Mark 8 Fiesta, which would have been on sale at the same time as this car, because this is a 19. Loads of room, masses of headroom. My knees are nowhere near touching the seat. 12-volt socket in the back here. I've only got windy windows, and possibly the hardest of hard plastic door cards I've ever seen in my life. But never mind, that's fine, because you get loads of space. It was probably about as much space in here as, again, a Mark 7.5 Golf. It's seriously about that sort of level. When you consider this car was actually made in India, and Indian families often, they pile their cars full of people because the families are big. I can understand why, you know, they've chosen to make this a competitive car in terms of the space. We've got 6 airbags, including the curtain airbags there. Material does feel quite hard wearing. It's good enough. I think you've got slightly different material if you go through something like SZ2 and SZ5. But yes, what more is it that you need for a spacious Super Mini? One thing I'm really surprised about with this car is not only do we have fabric on this front door card, which you don't get, for example, on an Audi A1, which is ridiculous, but actually got automatic lights in this base spec car. We've got air conditioning. We don't have a reversing camera or anything like that, but that's fine. Not all of you will need one. Nice 5-speed manual, very light shift. This car's actually got really low mileage on it. The one thing I would say is if we look at this key, oh dear, this is the same key that used to come with the Suzuki Splash, which was discontinued in 2015. So yeah, it's not the most appealing looking key, but at least you're not going to have any problems with funny credit card things and keyless entry or anything like that. No cruise control in this one because it's a base model, but we've got steering wheel controls, and those are for the built-in Bluetooth system for making calls and things. Nice basic instrumentation, but a very, very hard plastic dash. And, you know, this is where the sort of budget car feel of this is most present, with this sort of hard plastic dash. You might not mind that. That might not be an issue for some of you, but that could possibly be something that yeah, proves to be tricky for others to accept. if I look at all this space, you've got 2 cup holders here, you've got somewhere else to put things here, another 12-volt socket, USB and aux in. It's hard to sort of argue with a car like this. I mean, I don't know what those were for. Maybe maybe some other accessories this car doesn't have, maybe heated seats. But yeah, SZ3, no, nothing like that. I wonder if my secret mesh documents will go in there. I'll have to go and get those out in a second. If I put the key in, maybe I can do this with one hand. There we go. So the door's open. That's annoying. We're going to close it, aren't we, viewers? Okay, annoying beeping has gone away. This is everything that you need and nothing you don't. A mileometer, outside temperature, normal tachometer, speedometer, fuel gauge, temperature gauge. Just switch hands here, put the radio on, making sure we're right down to the copyright mark infringement, and that's it, just a radio. Nice, simple controls on it. Built-in Bluetooth, idiot-proof controls for the heating and ventilation. The SZ5s in particular are a bit more fancy than this. They do have climate control, but you know, if you're buying a car like this, perhaps you don't need climate control. Conventional handbrake, fantastic. Little compartment there for putting things in. Door pockets are actually quite a good size. You can put a nice big bottle of water in front of there. Yes, everything you need and nothing that you don't. Okay, let's have a look at the engine, shall we? So here is the 1.2 4-cylinder engine, which generates about 88 horsepower. There was actually a different version of this. This is called the Dualjet. There was also a Dualjet mild hybrid version known as the SH3. That was actually in the Suzuki Ignis that I drove a long time ago now. It's early 2020 on the channel. Because this car is on the Swift platform, this engine was also available on the Swift. I think it's still available on the Swift now, actually. Although you get the mild hybrid system as standard. Pretty easy to work on. Chain driven, I believe this is. There's actually quite a lot of room for a modern car under here, and there's not really that many plastic covers and things. There's the gearbox down there. You can see the manifold there. And even the coil packs are visible. So actually for home maintenance, quite a good car in that way. None of these are under warranty anymore. You only got a 3-year warranty on a Baleno. So yes, maybe you have a go yourself, I suppose, of something like this. These engines are known for being very reliable. Not really any problems I've heard of with them, which is excellent. Right, I think it's time to go for another drive, viewers. Disappointing. Lloyd Vehicle Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. This car is hardly the last word in performance. The booster jet version is a lot faster than this, I can tell you, but it's absolutely fine. It just sort of glides through the gears really nicely. The driving position is quite comfortable for its height adjustment, even in this base model. And although we've got like a plastic steering wheel, lots of blanking plates, and you know, no reversing camera and things like that, the car still feels quite composed and quite steady on the road. It feels quite solid. So it really depends what you want. It's not a luxury car, it's not a sports car or anything like that. But it copes with the bumps quite well. Steering is actually better than I expected it would be. I haven't driven one of these for a while. Personally, I would have to go for maybe the 1.2 mild hybrid version of this, with the SZ5 trim and a manual gearbox, but it's up to you what you prefer, and actually this might be something that you really, really like. So thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below. Thank you again to Simon and Dale at Langley Prestige in Chelmsford for the opportunity to film this car, and we shall see you again soon for more reasonably priced motoring.